When you've been quietly watching this online world for a while and wondering if it's too late for you or you've missed the boat, or you're wondering, could you ever learn how to do something like digital marketing from scratch? This video is definitely for you because 18 months ago, I was 52, completely new to this space. And honestly, I really need to do something different. I just walked away from a 25-year career and I knew I didn't want to work for another boss. I didn't want to spend the next 10 years doing the same things that I'd done for the last 25 years. And I just wanted control over my time, not just for me, but for the people around me and the people that need me most. I didn't have any tech skills. I didn't have a social media following. I just had a decision to stop watching and start building, start something new. So in this video, I'm pulling back the curtain and sharing exactly what the last 18 months have actually looked like. The honest behind the scenes version of how I went from complete beginner to actually bringing an income online in a way that gives me complete time freedom and total stress-free life. But if you're still thinking, how do you actually make money online? And what if I'm terrified of posting online? Isn't it too late for me to even start something new? What if I mess it up or choose the wrong path? Stick around because I'm going to answer all of those questions for you at the end of this video, and I promise this will be the most honest take you'll hear. A few months before I started, I was stuck. I had just left my career after 25 years, thought I'd feel free, and honestly felt like a failure. I was feeling frustrated, disappointed in myself, and really unsure how to move forward. I just knew I didn't want to work for another boss. I didn't want to spend my days giving my best energy to something that just did not light me up. I did want to contribute, but in a way that felt really aligned to me. And I wanted to be there for our family, who really needed our support at that time. So my career had taken so much from me. And a typical day back then was up at 5:30 in the morning and back by 6:30 at night, over an hour commuting each way to a toxic work environment where morale was at rock bottom, restructuring, internal politics, the constant feeling of dread. I became totally withdrawn, and that happy-go-lucky version of me faded really fast, and I was just getting through the day, quietly thinking, I really, really need to make a change here. So the turning point didn't come while I was still in that job. It came after I had left. I'd looked ahead and realized financially, emotionally, things weren't going to improve unless I changed them. I was tired of watching from the sidelines. I needed to take action, but I didn't want to do it alone. So I knew I needed some sort of guidance, a clear path to follow. And to be honest, I tried a few things at first that just did not fit. But once I found the right program, one that offered a 2 to 3 hour workday, full mentorship, and real earning potential, it all started to click. That path gave me hope again. It really fitted into the life I was trying to create and not the one I was trying to escape. But here's the thing. The people that I was watching in the online space, an awful lot of them were young women, and the types of content they were sharing, they were flaunting high income claims. They were painting a picture of luxurious lifestyles with big mansions. These were the content creators that caught my eye initially, but they were not the ones that really, really made me sit up and listen. Who really made me sit up and listen were people who had been in the career for a number of years. One in particular was a burnt out teacher. She'd been in there for 16 years. She was something like me. She was in her late 40s and actually looking to escape that stressful career because it was seriously affecting her health. And I watched that person shift from the full-time career doing this online business on the side to then stepping out of that career and going full-time with an online business. I saw her health improve. I saw her mood improve. I saw her struggle to actually work in a way that she was in charge of her own time because she'd been in a career that had such a time structure to it. She really struggled at first, but actually watched that journey, and now she does it full time, and they've now built their own house. She lives the outdoor lifestyle that she'd always craved, but more than anything, she has time for her family. And she's living and working a stress-free existence, way different than her old career. And watching those sorts of people were the sorts of people that I used to watch. And they're the sorts of people that made me decide whether this was for me or not. I tried a few different programs at first. And I have to say, when I was looking to find the right program to follow, it did take a bit of trial and error. And there's not many people that I know in the online space because I've made a number of friends now who do this, and we all do the same thing. And not a single one of us has just tried one program and found that the first one worked for us. So The reason I create content is to try and help people avoid that kind of trial and error in the first place, because it can be expensive and it can be time consuming and it can really damage your initial experience. And you can tend to think that all programs are the same when actually they're not. Once you find the right one, and this is what I found in my own personal experience, was that when I found the right thing, I could just focus on that one thing and just block out everything else from the sidelines. So often we are led to believe that the next best thing is going to be better than the thing that you're doing. And I know now, because of the experience that I've had with a number of different courses, that is one program that I recommend, and there is only one program that I recommend. But it's perfect for beginners, and that's who I love to help, because I want to help people just like me who are looking to change something later on in life in your 40s and 50s and know the right path to follow. The first few weeks were really slow, I'll be completely honest. Even though 90% of the tech setup was done for me, I still really did want to learn how it all worked. And I gave myself permission to be the student, to learn, to make mistakes. But the scariest part, I'll be honest, posting online, all those fears came up for me. What will people think? What if I sound silly? What if my friends see it? But I did it anyway, and nothing bad happened. No one mocked me. No one judged me. No one even saw it, to be perfectly honest. And even though it was messy at the start, I did take that first step. And that first step was the very step that I needed to take to get better and start to learn the skills by doing and taking action. In those first few months, I started seeing small signs that I was on the right path. A few more views on my videos, then my first likes, then a comment, then someone joined my email list, and then my first commission. It was proof, and it gave me belief. I knew if I could do it once, I could do it again and again and again. And probably one of the biggest questions I get is, Anna, if I start this, how long will it be before I start making a commission? And no one can ever tell you that, because nobody knows your work ethic. Nobody knows if you're following the mentorship and the lessons. Are you actually taking the right action? Are you following it step by step like it's laid out? Many people do, but many people don't. And many people jump ahead and jump around and half watch things and don't really do. And they're inconsistent and they stop and start. And, they have a lot of excuses as to why they can't show up every single day. So here's what I did. I committed to doing 90 minutes every single day. Some of that consisted of learning. Some of that consisted of actually taking action on what I was learning. And every single day I showed up in some way or other. Many people that I speak to actually have the smallest of excuses will knock them off track. And I just vowed that I knew that if I could just stay consistent, consistency was going to be my biggest winning course of action. If I could create a habit that meant I could show up every single day. And if I could say I can turn up to a 9 to 5 every single day when I have to, then I can show up for 2 hours or 90 minutes to work on something that I'm learning that's new, that is potentially going to give me the time freedom that I absolutely craved. So yes, I committed to 90 minutes every single day. I did that for probably the first 6 months. And then probably around about 6 to 12 months, I started to build that up to more like 2 to 3 hours a day. And that's what I do now. On my first few months, I will be completely honest, I could not settle on the direction I was going. But once I really did commit to that one single path, 3 months after that point, I started to see my first commissions. It probably took me about the 3.5 month mark from that point of first committing full on to that one thing. Prior to that, I kind of jumped about, stopped and started, and that was the biggest mistake because I just couldn't settle on one thing. So the secret for me in every single piece of advice I give to people is pick the one thing and settle on that one thing and just stay committed. Consistency is going to be the biggest winning factor above anything else that you do. From there, the milestones just kept building. From my first followers to my first 100 followers, from my first opt-ins to regular opt-ins every single day, and much bigger commissions, and eventually consistent results. But the biggest transformation wasn't in the numbers, it was in my mindset. I'd learned to stop chasing income, and I made helping people my main and primary focus. Once I focused on service and connection, everything shifted. I surrounded myself with mentors and people who were walking the same path as I was walking. And I kept showing up, not for perfection, but for progress and mastering the skills. And what most people don't see is the part where you show up when even no one is watching. You create content, you put yourself out there, and at first it feels like silence. And that's when most people quit. But that's also when things are just starting to work behind the scenes. I also realized that the goal isn't just commissions. The real win is building something that really matters. And I had to remind myself daily, every time I help someone, every time I show up, it moves me forward. Now my days look like working 2 to 3 hours a day, working from home or anywhere with Wi-Fi. I do my work early, so the rest of the day's mine. I can walk the dogs on the beach when I want. I can pick up the grandkids at school when they need me. I can visit my mother-in-law in the care home. I can take time off, plan holidays, all without asking anyone else for permission. And the income fully supports that lifestyle. But the part no one really talks about enough is the control. You decide what you work on. You decide how your business grows. You decide who you want to help and how you want to show up. And the personal development, that's the next level. You don't just build a business. You become the kind of person who owns their own life. And the fact that you can build that so that it's authentically you is the best part. The big questions I get is, Anna, how do you actually make money online? So what I do is digital and affiliate marketing. I promote products that I really love and I earn 100% commission. I don't need to create anything. I just share my story, follow the system step by step, and show up consistently. And the reason that I actually do recommend digital and affiliate marketing as a place to start as a complete beginner is because those are the skills that you can apply to literally any product or service, any business model that you choose to do in the future, because the marketing side, how to attract your perfect customers, is where most people struggle, even when they've got an established business. So if you can learn that first and do that recommending someone else's product, which is affiliate marketing, then you are learning super high income skills. You're able to earn while you learn those skills, and you're learning those skills on proven products that are already in demand. The majority of the work is something that you don't have to do. You don't have to create the products. You don't have to deliver the product even. You're learning those high income skills. And that was a no-brainer to me. Next question is, what if I'm not confident on camera? Let me tell you, I wasn't either. I was terrified, but I didn't start out really confidently. That didn't come first. It came from actually doing. I started small, and with every post, it got easier and I got more confident. A lot of people ask me, do I need to be techie? And no, you don't. Most of the setup was already done for me. If you can follow step-by-step videos, you can do this, even if tech overwhelms you. And let me tell you, when I very first started out, the programs that I was following were actually showing me how to do the tech from scratch. And I thought that was the only way. Once I found something that actually did 90% of the tech for me, it was like a weight was lifting off my shoulders. Quite literally, it was a game changer. So I didn't know that existed at the very beginning. So I'm hoping that even if you take something from this video, that's going to be a real eye-opener for you too. A lot of the people I speak to say, isn't it too late to start from scratch? Now, I started at 52 with zero audience, zero experience. The confidence and skills I have now, I have built them from scratch because I followed a proven blueprint. And I committed to mastering one step at a time. I didn't try and do it all at once. I didn't try and be the expert from day one. I knew where I was on my journey, and I knew that every time I did something, I was only going to get better. And when you approach starting something new like that, you really can't fail. A lot of people hold back because they're worried they're going to choose the wrong path. And I did twice. I didn't stop. I still kept looking for the right mentor and the right path that aligned with what I truly wanted, with the time freedom that I wanted, that gave me support. And once I found it and stuck with it, absolutely everything changed. So just know that you can definitely start and it not be quite right, but giving up is a surefire way to not be successful. I didn't let those things stop me. I just kept looking and searching for the right thing that fitted me. And if you're still here and something that I've shared here has resonated with you, or it's given you a few light bulb moments, then I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. Just know you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to feel confident. You don't have to be tech savvy, and you don't need permission from anyone. You just have to take the first step because you are absolutely capable of building something that gives you back your time, your peace, and something that's authentically you. I did it and I would do it again in a heartbeat. So I really hope that this video has given you a little bit more of a behind the scenes on what the journey really looks like when you start from zero with absolutely no experience and you're starting something later in life. And if you want to know more about how I started, then I'll link to that in the description below this video. If you don't already subscribe, I would love it if you could hit the subscribe button and let me know what's been the most helpful thing to you in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next video.